everybody, and good morning. Welcome to episode 18 of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. My name is Kay, and I am coming to you from Havelock, North Carolina, where I live with my husband, our 2 sons, and our 2 dogs. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady. There's a group on Ravelry for the podcast. If you go to the groups tab and search Crazy Sock Lady podcast, you can find it there. That's where you'll find any information about knit-alongs, giveaways, lots of fun chatter. There is just a ton of fun stuff always going on in the group. I love getting to know everybody through the group. There is the introduction thread and there is an Ask Me thread. So if you have any questions, be sure to pop those in there and I will get those answered either in the thread or on the podcast. It is Tuesday. No, it's not. My notes say it's Tuesday. It's Thursday. And what's the date? Because the date's not right on there either. It is Thursday, March 16th. My notes say Tuesday because I should have recorded this on Tuesday, but sick kids, guys. Today is the first time in a week that I have not had sick kids in my house. The first time in a week. Oh my gosh, it is like a vacation this morning. It feels amazing. My fingers are crossed, my toes are crossed, everything is crossed that I get no phone calls today. It's telling me that somebody is sick and I need to pick them up. It's been a long week, guys, and knock on wood, I have not caught it yet. Eric has not caught it yet. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how we have not caught it yet. I'm just waiting. It's like you're just waiting to feel bad. You just know it's coming. But yes, the first time in a week, so I should have recorded on Tuesday, but Austin has been home yesterday and Tuesday he was home. So this is the first chance I've had. So this is kind of, I've had my notes ready. Obviously, I wrote these on Monday thinking I would record on Tuesday. I've had these notes ready, but this is a little bit of an impromptu podcast because my notes are a little bit outdated as far as I've gotten more work done than I had in my notes. I've started something or getting ready to start a few things that are not in my notes. Something has came in the mail that was not in my notes. We're just going with it today because I've got to do it while I can. It's just got to happen today. Tomorrow's Friday. Austin has a friend coming over to spend the weekend, so there will be no time this weekend. But yes, got a little bit off topic there because my notes are out of date, apparently. So yes, it is Thursday, March 16th. It is about 8:30 in the morning. It is just quiet in my house right now. Yeah, I kind of need to get caught up on stuff around the house, but that can wait, right? I need to go disinfect everything again, really, because I do not want to get sick. But here we go. We're just going to jump right in. Today, I hope I have not missed anything. Told you where you can find me. I do want to say a hello to any new viewers that we have. We have had quite a few new subscribers lately, and we are almost to 2,000. We are getting there. I think we might be like 40 away or something. So we will have that 2,000 subscriber giveaway once we reach that number. So if you have not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button if you want to keep up to date. That will let you know when new videos are put out. So thank you to returning viewers and to new viewers for spending a little bit of time with me each week. I really appreciate it. So first thing, sorry, I'm getting very distracted right now. My sister is texting me, I'm podcasting, Cassie, don't you know that? No, I'm just kidding. I love her. But first thing, we will go through our knit-along information. Like usual, I will give you a rundown of knit-alongs that are going on, and some are getting ready to end. So we will talk a bit about that. We will do finished objects because I do have a couple of those to show you. Of course, I have works in progress. And then today we will have Let's Get Scrappy. Today is, it seems weird to say that the podcast on the 16th of the month is the first podcast of the month, but this really is the first podcast that I've recorded in March. So we will talk about cozy memories and scrappy corner to corner blankets today. And then we will just end with some general chatter. I don't have a ton of mail or acquisitions to go through, so those are just kind of going to be mixed in because they're already being used. So those will be mixed into works in progress. So there will not be a mail segment today. sorry, but my husband says thank you. No, I'm just kidding. There is some, but it's just mixed in. There was going to be, I wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite items that I've made that I use in my kitchen, but sick kids, you parents know how that is. You have a sick child, you don't get done the things that you want to get done. So getting that ready to talk about kind of took the back burner. And with it being the first podcast of the month, we're going to be going over scrappy projects. So we're just gonna save the kitchen stuff for next time. I apologize if anybody was really looking forward to that. But next time I will have all of that ready to talk to you guys about. So I think that is all that we are going to be chatting about today, I believe. We'll see. I got iced coffee today because I thought that the kids being back in school deserved the 10-mile or so drive to Dunkin' Donuts to celebrate with a nice coffee. And I have a coffee cup, or yeah, I call them coffee cup cozies, I don't know, that I crocheted on here. And I used to actually sell these on Etsy for a while. I did some at craft shows for friends and stuff, but this is just one I crocheted. The yarn I think is just, has a Chloe hair on it, but it was just Vanna's Choice, I believe. And then I had some burlap ribbon that I cut a piece out and cross-stitched a K on there. So just a cute little project that I did. And these, I don't think I sold these particular ones with the initials. I can't remember. I think I might have sold one just to a friend. But they were pretty time intensive. So I didn't really sell these ones, but I used to sell crocheted ones on Etsy. Just a little fun thing that I used to do. So first, knit-alongs. We have got quite a few going on right now, and a few are getting ready to end. All full information as far as rules, there are pictures of prizes, and all of that will be in the Ravelry group, the Crazy Sock Lady podcast group on Ravelry. So you can find all of that information there. If you have any questions, feel free to pop those in the chatter thread or shoot me a message. The first knit-along is the Selfish knit-along, and that is coming to an end March 31st. That is anything that you have made for yourself. The second one is the Timey-Wimey knit-along. That is a Doctor Who knit-along that I am co-hosting with Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast. The chatter thread is in my group on Ravelry, and the finished objects thread is in Meg's group. There will be prizes for both, so make sure that if you are participating, you are chatting away in the chatter thread, because I do have a few good prizes that I will be doing out of that thread. And I cannot remember if I said that, into March 31st as well. Now we have the year-long knit-along going on. That is the Sock Crazy Cow for 2017. That is any socks that you make throughout the year. I do want to specify though, and it does say in the chatter thread, that baby socks do not count. I just thought that it's so easy to whip up a baby sock. So baby socks aren't going to count for this one. But any other socks do count, so make sure to get those entered, and I will be drawing throughout the year for prizes for that. I hope you can't hear Gracie chewing on something. I apologize if you can. Yes, any socks you make throughout the year, I'll be drawing throughout the year, so make sure to get all of those entered. Like I said before, all of the rules and everything are posted in the chatter thread. The first drawing for that will be in April. What I will probably end up doing, since we have the Selfish knit-along, the Timey-Wimey Cow ending, and the first drawing for the Sock Crazy Cow, I will probably do a little video with winners, just so it doesn't take up a huge chunk of time out of a podcast. But we will have another podcast, we should, hopefully, this month before we do that, so we can talk about that again. But that is my plan for now, is to do a separate little video drawing for winners. That way it's just not, you don't have to watch podcasts if you don't have time. I know everyone doesn't always have time to catch up on those, and you can see if you won or not. But we do have good prizes for all of our knit-alongs, and I am so excited to get some prizes out to everybody. The next knit-along, of course the Sock Crazy knit-along will continue throughout the year. Like I said, it's a year-long one. But the next one coming up will be the sock blank along, and that is anything that you knit from a sock blank, and that will start April 1st, and I am so excited. I've got 3 sock blanks, I think 3, right? Yeah, I think, to knit from, and I am so excited to get those started. I cannot wait until April 1st. I'm being good, and I'm starting April 1st with y'all, so I hope that everybody has a sock blank ready to go. Whether you're gonna make socks or a shawl, you know, whatever you're gonna knit from a sock blank, I cannot wait to see everybody's blanks and their projects. I do want to mention as well that we have the Swapless Swap still going on. As of this morning when I checked, we still had 3 spots left for that. All of the information for that is in the thread. It's the very first one when you go to the Ravelry group. The dyer for that is with pointed sticks. And money is due April 15th. There is also a coupon code thread in the group, so there are a few codes active in there, and if you are a maker and would like to post a code in there, just go right ahead or let me know the code and I can get that posted in there for you. I think that's it for knit-alongs and admin stuff. Real quick, I'll show you what I'm wearing. I've got my blanket on. Cannot really see all of it, can you? Yep, got my cozy blanket. This is a pattern by Mina Phillip of Knitting Expat Podcast. And I've shown this before. I finished it not too long ago when she had the mystery knit along for it. So this is a fairly recent finished object, and it is cold this morning. When I went to get my iced coffee, it was 29 degrees. I probably shouldn't have gotten iced coffee, I guess, but it just sounded delicious, a little treat for myself with the kids back in school. But yes, this is my cozy blanket. I cannot remember all of the collar names. I think this was, it's Malabrigo Rios, all of them are. I think this was Natural and this was Sunset Primavera maybe. I have a projects page on Ravelry that has all of the information if you're interested in the colorways. But I love it, and it's so nice. We had such a warm winter. We really have not had a lot of super cold days. So I thought we were done with winter. I was actually thinking like, okay, I can probably start packing some stuff up. And then we got snow flurries. I should probably save this until the end. You guys, if you're not here for this, you don't care, but we got snow flurries on Sunday. Just a very little bit, and nothing stuck to the ground. But there was actual snow coming down, and the kids were so excited. And I've gotten to wear some of my hand knits again, and it's just been nice. So this is what I've got on today, and I have just been wearing this. I wear it with the ends. They're wrapped up and around and then tucked under, and sometimes I'll just tie it just a bit to hold them in place. And I wear it like this a lot, and then if I'm just around the house, I'll just wear it around my back, kind of grandma-ish style, I guess, is what my husband thinks when I wear it that way. But it's nice and warm and comfy and cozy, and I absolutely love it. And this was such a fun pattern to do. I would love to make another one. I might make one as a Christmas gift, maybe for my grandma. But let's go right into finished objects, because I have a few, and I'm remembering now that I did not grab one, so I will go get that and meet you right back here. Okay, I had to run to Wyatt's room and grab the finished object that I had forgotten, because I finally got around to making his Bunny Boy Jr. And here he is. This is a pattern. It is Mini Sock Yarn Bunny by Susan B. Anderson. Excuse his crazy ears. They just kind of do what they want. They're crazy. But this is Bunny Boy Jr. Wyatt absolutely loves him. If you have watched the podcast for a while or followed me on Instagram, you'll know that I made Bunny Boy Senior for Christmas. That is the name Wyatt chose, by the way, Bunny Boy. And then he found out that there was, I may have mentioned, there was a mini sock yarn bunny that looked identical to this, just mini version. So he said we need Bunny Boy Jr. So we've got Bunny Boy Senior, Bunny Boy Jr. Wyatt loves them. And both these patterns were by Susan B. Anderson. The yarn that I used is a Cascade Heritage Prince. It is a 150 gram ball. So I had enough for both bunnies, and I have enough to make Wyatt some socks. So he's going to have socks to match his bunnies. That'll be the next project that I do for him. So they turned out great. I actually like the mini one better than this one. Bunny Boy Senior's head has always been a little floppy. I don't know. I don't know if I did something. I tried to go back in and tack it back down. Maybe Wyatt's just loving him. I don't want to say too much because there's nothing wrong with it. That's why I made it. But he's getting a little flat. His stuffing is kind of reshaping into where Wyatt cuddles him. But that's what I made them for, to be loved. And he so is knitworthy. He appreciates so much these items. I'll insert a picture here. Last night, Eric walked by Wyatt's room after the boys were in bed, and I thought, oh no, please tell me that he just is not still awake, because I usually tell them to turn their lights off at 8, or Wyatt anyways, and I totally forgot. So he says, no, he's asleep, but go look at him. I go look at him, and he is wrapped up in his Mario and Luigi blanket, and he is cuddling both of his bunnies. And I will insert that picture here. So as you can see, he's very knitworthy. He really just loves anything that I make him, and I love him for it. So that is those, and there are project pages for both of those if you want. I didn't really make any changes at all, I think, to the patterns, but if you want any more details on the yarn or anything like that, I do have project pages in Ravelry for everything that you will see today, I think. Yes, I do. Okay. So my next finished objects are a pair of socks, and these you saw a bit last week. You didn't get to see the pattern because not last week, last podcast. You didn't get to see the pattern because this is a new design that I just completed and testers are done, and it is out on Ravelry now. It is called Wyatt Socks, so you can purchase that pattern on there, and here they are. And as you can see, I did a plain stockinette back for the leg. They have a heel flap and gusset. The pattern gives you instructions for that, and it does have 3 sizes available. Let's show you the front. There'll probably be a crease because they've been on the blockers. As you can see, that diagonal line runs all the way down the leg and the foot of the sock. So this is available on Ravelry now. You can head on over there, and I want to thank you so much to everybody who has already purchased the Wyatt socks. The yarn that I used for these is Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play. I purchased this at the Salty Sheep in Swansboro, North Carolina, one of my local yarn stores. And here you can see, let me show you the back so you can kind of see the yarn in just plain stockinette. This yarn was a joy to work with. It's the first time that I've used Mrs. Crosby, and I just really enjoyed it. So definitely, if you are interested, check out the Wyatt socks on Ravelry. I really enjoy getting to see everybody work up their different socks and see how the pattern plays in different yarns. My next finished object is another pair of socks. Shocker, right? You guys didn't know I did socks. These are my toucan socks. For these, I use Knit Picks Felici yarn in the toucan colorway, and the heel I did in Knit Pick Stroll Fingering Dandelion colorway. And it just kind of blends in nicely. It doesn't exactly match the yellows, but I just think it works good. I almost kind of wish I would have done like a lime green or something. I think that would have been fun, but this looks nice. Now for this, I did my usual 64 stitches, size US 1, 2.25 millimeter needle, just my standard 20 row cuff, my favorite rounded toe, and this, you guys. I did my very first, now I've done an afterthought teal before using waste yarn, and I had no major problems with that. I just thought the waste yarn was kind of a hassle to even have to deal with knitting it in, and then, you know, you're just going to be taking it out. So for this, I decided to do my very first true afterthought heel. I loved it, you guys. So yes, I loved this heel. I watched the video, Kirby Werby afterthought heel is what I typed in on YouTube, and I watched her video on how to do it. And then I just went in, you cut it, you do not use waste yarn. It is a true afterthought heel. You are cutting your knitting, and I promise it is not as scary as you think that it is. I promise, really. If you have not tried it, don't be scared. Just do it. Make sure your needles are in there good, and then you're safe. Just cut that knitting. Don't be scared. So I loved it. And then I did 4 rounds plain knitting. And then I just did decreases like I do for my toe. I decreased every other round until I had 12 stitches on each needle, and then I Kitchenered them together. And that is it. I will take it off so I can show you what it looks like. And this is definitely what I will be doing on stripy socks for now. I seem to change and go back and forth, and I like this way and then I like that way. It keeps it interesting, I think. But for now, this is what I'm going to be doing on stripy socks, and maybe even other socks, because I have a sock in Whips that I have been working on that when I did the heel, I was like, oh, I wish I would have just done an afterthought heel. I don't know. It's something new and fun, I think. So here it is. And it just, I don't know, it was so easy to have my plain vanilla sock and just work in a tube. Now what I did is I do cuff down. So when I got down to here, I slipped a marker in after I had done my 60 rows. I usually do about 60 to 70 rows. So I did 60 rows. It might have been a 62 or something. I'm sure it says in my projects page. But I did it, I wanted to split the purple and the blue. So I did it to there, put a marker in, then I worked down, and how I did my measurements, I left 2 inches for the heel and 2 inches for the toe. So I think when I put my marker in, I worked, it should say in my project page, but I worked like 5 inches and something, and then did my toe, and then went back and did my heel. And I was so afraid, just looking at it without my heel, I thought it was going to be way too small, but it worked out perfect. So I would recommend, I mean, if you usually, whatever you leave for your toe, leave for your heel. So if you do a toe that leaves 1.75 inches, leave that for your toe and your heel, and then do the rest for your foot. And I think it's probably just kind of playing with it too, to get the best fit, just like with any method of socks. You know, the hardest part is finding what fits the best. But I love the fit of this heel, and I will definitely, you'll be seeing a lot more true afterthought heels from me, and I would highly recommend giving it a try, whether you use waste yarn or not. But I say don't be intimidated by not using the waste yarn, because it was not as scary as it seems. It was just fun. Lots of fun. So yes, I absolutely love these, and I've had these done for a while, and I've wanted to wear them so bad. So I'm excited to be able to wear them now that I've shown them. And the same with my Wyatt socks. I'm excited to be able to wear those too. Okay, was that it for, I think that was it, talking about those. But this yarn, this was my very first time using, I've used plenty of Knit Picks Stroll fingering for socks, but this was my first time using the fleecy, and I loved it. The stripy socks are so fun anyways, but that yarn is just, it's very soft, and for the price, you cannot beat it. You truly can't. Okay, so that is it for finished objects. I do have some works in progress, so let's go right into that. feeling so off with podcasting today, and I really do not know why. It's not like I've taken an abnormally long break. It was just a few extra days, but it just, I don't know, I'm feeling off today. So I apologize if that is coming across. I don't know why. I think so excited that there are no kids in the house today. I love my kids, do not get me wrong, but you parents get it. When your kids are sick, it is just exhausting. You feel so bad for them, and you want to take all the sickness from them, and you're not sleeping good because you're checking on them and you're worrying about them, and you're up, passing out medicine in the middle of the night. So it can be exhausting, and it's just such a relief when they feel better and the house is quiet. It is so quiet. It is very nice. Okay, works in progress. I have a few to show you today. Actually just 2 that are really in progress at the moment, and then I'm just going to show you quickly 2 upcoming projects that I have ready to go on the needles. So the first work in progress that I will show you are my Gone with the Wind socks. Last podcast I don't think I'd had these started. I think I showed you the yarn. The yarn is from Desert Vista Dye Works. They're Gone with the Wind colorway. There it is in the cake, and you'll notice quite a bit wrapped around because I had to restart these. I've almost worked back up to where I was. So here they are at the moment. And look how fun these are. I am loving how they're working up. So standard cuff down, 20 row cuff, 64 stitches on US 1, 2.25 millimeter. I am working these up on my signature needles. And the reason I started these again, I started them on 9-inch circulars. I love 9-inch circulars, guys. So don't think that I'm bashing them or anything here. I absolutely love 9-inch circulars. But I have noticed, now at first when I was doing 9-inch circulars, I had no problems with having a looser fabric. My tension was the same, my gauge was the same, everything was good. I'm tensioning the same way, but I'm noticing the past few socks I've done on 9-inch circulars are too big. And they have more of a looser, airier fabric that I don't like. So I started this, and I was trying to focus on tensioning tighter because I knew when I started these on 9-inch circulars, okay, I've had this problem with my past few socks on these. Maybe I need to just tension tighter. So I was trying so hard to keep my tension tight. It worked for the cuff, and I don't know, maybe up to here I did pretty good. And then I got to watching Pole Dark, which we'll talk about in just a bit, and I wasn't paying attention, and it was just a looser fabric that I just do not like for socks. So I thought, oh my gosh. And I had worked up past this before I really realized what I had done, because I was just so into the show and this vanilla knitting, just flying through on 9-inch circulars like you do, and then realized I didn't like the fabric. So at first I ripped back some and put the needles back on, and I was like, I'm just starting again. Like 9-inch circulars are driving me bonkers with the fabric I'm getting. So my question is, does anyone else have this problem with 9-inch circulars? I have heard a few other podcasters say they've had this problem, that they get a looser gauge with 9-inch circulars. I don't really know why. If you're just more relaxed knitting in the round, I don't know why this is happening, but I'm not liking it. So it's making me not want to use my 9-inch circulars. So I took everything out and started again on my signatures. And I'm just doing the magic loop. I don't know. I don't know. And it's not that, even if I went down in stitch count on my 9-inch circulars, I'm still going to be getting a looser fabric that I don't like. So I'm thinking maybe ordering a size 0 for 9-inch circulars and seeing if that works. If that will give me the denser fabric that I like for my socks. If anyone has had this problem and you went down a needle size or whatever, let me know how it's worked for you. But I am absolutely loving these. I talked last week about how much I love Gone with the Wind, so this is just making me so, so happy. I absolutely love Desert Vista Dye Works. Now I will say, this yarn, the black, is bleeding onto my fingers like you would not believe. I have usually a black line where the yarn is tensioned around this finger, just black all over my hands from touching the yarn when I'm working with it. But that happened again, but especially with colors like black or red, or like a darker blue, you know, you can have that bleeding. So I kind of thought it might happen, and then it did. I did email Susan at Desert Vista Dye Works and see if she had any suggestions for how to maybe set that collar when I'm done. Since I have already started, I'm like, I'm not going to reskein it, and you know, I'm not messing with that. I'll just deal with having black hands when I work on it, black fingers. But she did give me a few tips to set it. She said just try soaking it with a few little glugs of vinegar and a collar catcher and see if that works, and a few other things to try as well. So no big deal, kind of a little bit of a pain, you know, if you're out, because that's some vanilla sock knitting and I take that stuff everywhere. So if I'm out and I'm gonna have black hands, that's kind of a pain, but I will work with it because I love those socks. Oh, I absolutely love them. And I have these in my Daisy Girl & Company bag. I'll use a project bag and then put it up and get another one out. Since I got this bag, I've had a project in it and I have no intentions of putting it up anytime soon. I just love it. I love the little peekaboo clear pouch. Absolutely love it. There's her logo. And one of her bags will be in the 2,000 subscriber giveaway as soon as we hit 2,000 subscribers. Okay, next work in progress. This is in a bag, I'll go ahead and show you it, that I ordered from Molly Klein Design. Beauty and the Beast. And I love Molly's bag, and Molly's bags, I absolutely love them. It's got some floral print on the inside. For her bags, they're very well made. I absolutely adore her fabric choices and her bags. So these are a pair of socks from Mina Phillip, her new sock pattern collection, the New York sock pattern collection, I believe is what it's called. And that will be, there's one coming out every month for 7 months. I think it's 7 months. So this is the first month, and it is the Grand Central socks. And I don't have the front page to show you because my printer ran out of ink, but I am almost done. I have got maybe one more pattern repeat before I start the toe. So I have flown through these. Let me show you the yarn I'm using first. This is Bigfoot Fibers, and that is Sheila from the Bigfoot Knitcast. If you have not checked out her podcast, what are you waiting on? Because I just love her. She is so fun and funny and down to earth. And this is on her Super Squishy Sparkle Sock, 70% fine superwash merino, 25% nylon, and 5% stellina. There is her logo. And this sock, you guys, this pattern is so much fun. I am loving it. Look at that texture. I think everybody is making these. I've seen quite a few of these. And then of course it's just got the plain stockinette back like all of Mina's sock patterns do. And I love that because you get to see how the yarn works up, and it's a bit of a break from the pattern. It kind of makes it go faster. But I feel like this sock has just flown, absolutely flown. I have got a progress keeper on here from Molly that came, she sent these with my bag. It's the rose. The progress keepers are Beauty and the Beast themed, and she did have some of those in her shop, so definitely check that out. The needles that I'm using for these, just my standard US 1 2.25 millimeter, but this is my first time using these needles. I am not even sure how you would pronounce the name of these. I would probably say it wrong. They are driftwood wooden needles, and a friend told me about these. She had ordered some, and I had never, maybe I had heard of them, I can't remember, but I've never used them. So I love wood needles. I've always really enjoyed my knit picks. I've got the Caspian and another set from them. So I've always enjoyed my knit picks, wooden crochet needle or crochet hooks and knitting needles. So I thought I would give these a try. And you guys, if you like wooden needles, I love these. Now, I will say with this pattern, I'm thinking going forward, I will use these wooden needles for vanilla sock knitting, because with the stitch in this pattern, I have kind of been afraid I'm going to break them just because they're so small. But I cannot get over how smooth this join is. It is the smoothest join I have had with sock needles. There is no catch there, none at all. Not a single catch with these needles. The join is amazing. So if you're a fan of wood needles, definitely give them a try. I like the cable. It's sturdy without being overly stiff. So I would definitely recommend giving these needles a try. Like I said, I probably will do them with just plain vanilla socks going forward, just because some stitches, when I go in to do some of those stitches, I'm just so afraid the needle is going to break. It hasn't, and I don't think that it would, but I'm afraid that it might. So I will be doing vanilla socks, I think, with those going forward. But they're working fine, and I don't know, I think it's a combination of the great pattern, the amazing yarn, the great needles. It's flying off my needles, I feel like. That sock has just taken no time at all. So I'm hoping to have those done very soon. I really want to keep up with that sock pattern collection and do that sock the month it comes out. So I want to try to have those done by the end of March. And these socks, my Gone with the Wind socks, are my official March socks for the Naughty Knitwits sock knit along that they're doing. So I need to have those done by the end of March as well. But with the Gone with the Wind socks being my plain vanilla knitting, I think I should be fine with that. Hopefully. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed. I can get both pairs of socks done. But those are the only works in progress. Oh, no, they're not. I have one more. I have two that I want to show you that are upcoming. Let me go ahead and show you those first, actually, because the other work in progress that I have is pretty big and it's on the floor over there. I'm going to have to move some things to get it. So we will go ahead and show you upcoming. Now this, I posted yesterday on Instagram, if you follow me on there, that I had frogged a kind of languishing work in progress in order to get the yarn for this new cast on. It has not been cast on yet, but it's ready. The needles and everything are in here, and this is in a bag from Mountain State Stitches, a Doctor Who bag, and I love the inside. It's kind of like a galaxy, and it perfectly matches my yarn. This is the Galaxy LMC yarn from Bad Wolf Girl Sits, or it's Bad Wolf Girl Studios, but it's Meg of Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast. The dogs just ran through here. I thought Chloe was going to knock over the camera, but I think we're good. Okay, but yes, this was, I'm so bad. I have kind of found that I am a little bit of a failure with my own knit-alongs. The sock one I'm doing fine because, hello, it's socks, and obviously I'm obsessed with socks. But the selfish knit-along, I guess I've kind of done okay with because a lot of the socks have been for myself. The Doctor Who knit-along. This was supposed to be my spoiler socks, a pattern by CC Almond. And I was using this yarn, and it was all Doctor Who themed. I had the bag, I had Progress Keepers, Galaxy yarn, good to go. She just shook the camera, I'm sorry. But I love the pattern, do not get me wrong, the pattern is amazing and it's gorgeous, but just I didn't feel like the pattern and this were meshing well in the way that I wanted them to. I don't exactly know what the problem was, but I wasn't super in love with it. I do want to do the pattern, but I'm going to choose a different yarn. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling drawn to work on it. And I thought, I've kind of gotten myself in this mentality where I'm like, and you'll see that in the final whip that I'm going to show you, where I'm just like, work on what is bringing you joy in that moment. I have not been forcing myself to work on anything, which kind of shows in the fact that my brioche shawl has not seen a lot of love. Not enough that I'm even going to show it today. But I am just working on what is bringing me joy, what is making me happy, and that is making it, I enjoy knitting regardless, but that is just making it so enjoyable to just work on what is bringing me joy. So sadly, these socks were not, so I frogged them, and it was partly because I went on the chatter thread in my group for the timey-wimey cow, and someone was doing a hitchhiker shawl, and I believe she was using the Rose and the TARDIS yarn from Meg, which is it's very similar to this, a little bit more of the rosy color though, I believe, but she was using that for a hitchhiker shawl, which is something I've wanted to do for quite a while. I've just for some reason never gotten around to it, and that just kind of spoke to me, I guess. It was like, that is what your yarn is supposed to be. Why are you forcing it to be socks when it clearly does not want to be? So this will be a hitchhiker. I've got everything ready to go. I don't have the pattern printed yet because my printer is out of ink, but the needles are in here, the yarn is in here, everything is ready, and I cannot wait to get it started. I'm going to use up all of this as much as I can. I will leave a little bit for a square in my cozy memories, but I'm going to use up all of this, and then if I don't think the size is quite big enough, I'm going to get some black from somewhere with some Selena in it. I might see if Knit Picks has their stroll, I think they have a stroll glimmer, am I correct? And if they have any black in that, and do a section at the end with just black, because I think that'll look perfect with this. So that is my plan for that, and kind of just work on what brings you joy, guys. Don't force things, because where is the fun in that? This is supposed to be fun for us, right? Okay. Next upcoming work in progress, I talked a bit about, I'm going to do a Bunny Girl Junior for my niece, Lily Bell. And Lily, I popped this up, sneak peek of something I'm going to talk about. But first, we FaceTimed with Cassie and Lily the other night, and I had finished Bunny Boy Junior. And Wyatt was kind of holding them up, like, you know, playing with Lily through FaceTime. She had the biggest smile on her face, and I'd already thought I should make her one of these. And then her reaction to Wyatt, I was like, okay, done, seals the deal. She's got to have a bunny. So I have got it in here, and this is from Daisy Girl and Company. And look how cute this is. Is this not just the perfect fabric? You can see the fabric. Show you the fabric on the inside as well. And this is one of the bags you can hold over your wrist and knit. I don't think I'm coordinated to knit as I'm walking. Maybe I could stand and knit. But it's just adorable, and it holds quite a bit more than you would think. I've got the pattern, which again is the mini sock yarn Bunny by Susan B. Anderson. I've got my yarn, my notions box. The yarn I'll be using is Cascade Heritage Prints, and the color number is 20. And it's got purple and black, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it'll stripe up very similar to how Wyatt's did. And I also got one of her DPN or needle cozies, and I've got my Carbons DPNs in there. So everything is ready to go. I just need to get this started, and I've got a week to get it done. I will tell you why next time we podcast, because I'll have some fun stuff to show. But I've got a week to get that done. So that is it for upcoming. Now I'm going to scoot my stool over here and show you the next work in progress. This you've seen on Instagram. If you follow me there, I posted a picture and I posted a video of me working on it as well. I showed last week Austin's Warriors blanket that I had started on. I had not started the color work. I say last week, every time I podcast, I notice I say last week when I talk about the last podcast, but it's not always last week. So last podcast, I showed you the start of his Warriors blanket. I had not started the collar work yet, and that podcast was a little over 2 weeks ago. So in that time, I have now, as of yesterday, I am officially halfway done with Austin's Warriors blanket. What? Yes. Yes, because this is what has been bringing me joy. So this is what almost all of my crafting time during the day has been put into. And I don't know that there is going to be, I'm going to try to scoot back, a good way to show you this. Look at that. Is this not amazing? I am just amazed at this blanket. Now I am doing this Tunisian crochet. I've got my crochet hook and there is a cable through all of these stitches with the stopper on the end. I talked about that a little bit more last week. The graph I got from mckcreations.com, and I did have someone message me and say they went to the website and the graph was not there, and I feel like I probably should have specified that because the graph is not on the website. What had happened, she has a blanket graph with a basketball in the middle, and I had messaged her, sent her an email, there's a contact me on the website, and I had done that and asked her if there was any way she could do a custom graph to have that basketball and have it say Golden State Warriors around the basketball. She said sure she could do that, but she actually has a Warriors graph if I would be interested in that. This was the Warriors graph that I'm working off of, and I said of course yes, I will just purchase that one because it matches one of Austin's shirts exactly. And I'll actually go ahead and insert a picture right here of him wearing the shirt and the blanket laid out on the table in front of him so you can kind of see what we're going for here, because I did change the colors from what the graph she had was to match his shirt exactly. And if you'll notice on his shirt there is a number 30. I am adding that in as well. I kind of colored that in, sketched it into the graph, so there will be a number 30 on here because that is Steph Curry's number and the child is obsessed. So here's a picture of Austin with his blanket. And he is so excited. I think that is why this is bringing me so much joy, because his joy, like you feed off of it, I think, as a maker, especially, you know, someone that you love so much, you know, as your kid or, you know, someone like that, that is finding so much joy in something that you're making, and you just kind of feed off of that energy, I think. So all of my crafting time pretty much during the day when I've had a chance has went into this, because this is something I have to keep in my knitting chair over here. I can't pick it up and take it to the living room because there are so many colors going. I mean, not so many colors, there's 2 colors, it's blue and gold, but there are so many balls of the different colors going, and I'll show you the back, that it's not something I can take from this room to that room and bring back. It's got to stay in its spot because I've got the graph on my magnet board that you would use for cross stitch or needlework or something, and I have the magnet, you know, going up to mark what row I'm on. It's just a project that has to stay there. So it is a during the day project. Nighttime knitting is usually just socks or things that I can take to sit on the couch and sit in the living room with the family. So I've showed you the back, or I've showed you the front. Oh my goodness, I've showed you the front. Now I'm going to show you the back. And the way I do it, let me show you first and then I'll talk a bit more about it. So here is the back. Lots of ends, yes. Now what I do, you can look up a video if you are at all interested in attempting Tunisian crochet. There is a video by GG Crochet, and I will try to make sure to link that in the show notes. And that is how I learned, back when I did the Mario and Luigi blanket, that's how I learned to do the collar changes with Tunisian crochet, because there is a correct way and a wrong way so that you don't end up with gaps where the collar changes are. So her videos are great. Now what I do not, you can carry the yarn. I think she recommends carrying, not doing it for more than 3 or 4 stitches. I don't do it for more than 2. If it's 3 stitches, 4 stitches, I will start a new collar. So what I've done here, you can see I used 1 gold. Obviously that's a big section of gold. So I had 1 ball, and I'm going back and forth in this section. Then when it comes to the blue, I've got 1 ball. They're down there in a basket. 1 ball for this section. And then, let's see, where's my gold? Okay, I've got the gold, I've got the blue. Now with this, the gold I'm carrying across all of this because these blues are only 1 to 2 stitches. So I can carry the gold back across the blues, no problem. But for the blues, because there are 3 and 4 stitches of gold in between each blue line on the bridge, I have a blue ball going for each section of blue that's coming up. Seems like a lot, but it truly, I don't worry about untangling after each row. Other than the gold, I will go through with the gold and untangle it from the blue and keep it separate. The blue, I just let it do its thing. It has not gotten into such a big knot that I have not been able to yank the yarn out. So I just think whatever, because I can be a bit OCD, but I'm not that OCD that I'm going to go every single row and untangle and unwind and untwist every single end that I have coming from this blanket, because I've just got too many ends. You know, there's the blue for that section, the gold, and I just carry the collars up so that you don't have a ton of ends on each row. So I hope that isn't too confusing on how I do the collars for this. I just make sure I'm not carrying more than 2 stitches across the back and start a new little ball. And I just wind off balls. Some of them are this big, other ones are smaller, just for however big the section is that I'm kind of working on. Like this big section of gold, I have a pretty big, that's where this biggest ball is, because I know it's going to be a big section. The smaller ones, I'll do smaller balls, and they're all just in a big basket. And yeah, I'll probably go back now that I'm halfway and do all the ends for this section of the blanket. I'll weave all of those ends in so that when I get to the end, I don't have a ton to weave in. So I hope that was not way too confusing talking about that. If you have any questions about Tunisian crochet, I am happy to attempt to answer them. I am by no means an expert on it. I do not feel like a blanket and a half and some other small projects, you know, make me any kind of an expert on Tunisian crochet, but I will be happy to try to answer any questions that I can, because it is truly something that I enjoy, and I forgot just how much I enjoyed doing the Mario blanket. And I've done quite a few other, Tunisian crochet blankets, and I will link the pattern that I've used for those in the show notes as well. They're not color work. The other ones are not. They're kind of like let me insert a picture here. There you go. Those are some of the other blankets. Might be a few, it might just be one, depending on what ones I can find pictures of that I've done with Tunisian crochet. And there are a lot of fun. And the instructions for that I filmed from a YouTube video. Beth in Texas, I'll put the name down here, is the name of the YouTube channel. I think that I found the instructions for that from. So it's a lot of fun too, and that's definitely a good way to learn Tunisian crochet because you're learning different ways of joining a new collar and just doing the basics of Tunisian crochet without having a huge blanket going. You're just working the little tiny squares. You work a square and you move on to the next square. So that's definitely a good way to learn. And that was my first Tunisian crochet project, and I became obsessed with those blankets and made a ton of them. So they are a lot of fun. So yes, I believe that was it for works in progress. Like I said, if you have any questions about the blanket that I'm doing or anything about Tunisian crochet, just feel free to shoot me a message. I absolutely love it, and I would definitely recommend it. If you think it looks fun and you're at all interested, give it a try. It's not difficult at all, and it's just so fun to do. I think it is anyways. I guess not everybody might enjoy it, but I love doing Tunisian crochet, and I absolutely am loving the collar work. It's so fun to see that work up, and to see the picture kind of appear as you're working. So next we will talk about scrappy blankets. Got three to show you. Almost at 2, I've got 3 to show you. Gracie was over here staring at me, so I thought maybe she wanted to say hi. But I don't think she did. She just wants to sit on my lap and have me pet her. She's so cute though. Huh? You're so cute. Oh, licked the glasses. Not good. Okay, glasses are cleaned. We are ready to show some scrappy blankets. First up, I will show you my Cozy Memories blanket. I am using the pattern by Kimber Ray called The Coziest Memory, and that is a free pattern, I believe, on Ravelry. And you guys have seen this many times, but it has gotten a little bit bigger. I hope you can see all that. I have no idea. Yep, I think we're good. So it's gotten a little bit bigger. How many squares have I added? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've added 7 new squares. I am still in the process of squaring it off. It needs to get a lot more attention than it gets because I so enjoy doing it. It's just such a fun, easy knit, but it just does not get enough attention as it should. I've been pretty good about finishing a pair of socks and getting that square in, but I don't think I've been that good with keeping up with it at all. And for both of my Cozy Memories blankets, because I'm getting ready to show you another one that I may have started, I use a 2.5 millimeter Knitter's Pride Carbons DPNs. That's what I use to work my blanket up. And the second one that I started is for Austin. This is all I have so far. That is it. 2 squares. These are the last pair of socks that I made for him that I showed on the podcast. I put in the main color and the color that I used for the contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs. Or maybe I just did heels and toes for that. I can't remember. But I added in this that I used for whatever I used it for. But I decided to start one of these for him, and I will be starting one for Wyatt as well. It was one of the ladies in my knitting group had the idea. She's like, why don't you do that? Start, one for the boys and you can give it to them. Perfect idea. It made me really wish that I had thought of it before I've added in so many of the yarns into my Cozy Memories, and I don't have any more left to add into theirs. But that's fine, and I've still been adding, I think I added in the yarn, maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. I added in that yarn into my blanket as well because I thought that's part of my memories too, that I made that for them. But I'm going to start one of these for both boys. No, obviously, they're not going to be done that fast because when it comes to socks, I have lately been more of a selfish knitter and I have not made as many socks for anybody else as I have for myself. So these will take a while. So whether they end up being a blanket that I give to the boys when they graduate from high school, when they get married, or it ends up being a baby blanket for their babies if they choose to have children one day. I don't know, but one day my boys will have a blanket from their mama that is used, you know, from yarn that she made socks for them with. So that makes my knitting mama heart happy to think about that, and it was such a good idea, and I really wish I would have thought of it myself and that I would have thought of it before I had gotten you know, so far on this. And I don't have these yarns left anymore. I've done swaps and, you know, given them away or used them all. I've just used up all the yarn, but that's okay. We're starting it now, and I've got Austin's going 2 whole squares, but you totally have to start somewhere, right? Okay, that's it for Cozy Memories, but I also have my Scrappy Corner to Corner crochet, and this is in my Bags by Awesome Granny bag, and you guys have seen that before. Now for this, I started another cake. This was 68 grams of yarn. I wanted to kind of wait till I had 100 before I started adding more in, but I just could not wait any longer to work on this because it's so much fun. And here it is so far. Not too much progress since the last time I showed it, because like I said, all of my time seems to be going to the Warriors blanket. So, but I've gotten a little bit done, and I have on here, I have a few fun things to show you, but this is one of them. This is from Simply Serving HK, and she sent me, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. It is a little teacup with a lemon slice in it. And it's adorable, but that is a little progress keeper that she sent me. And I also had the pleasure of doing a kind of product test review for her. So she has started making the polymer clay. Why was I blanking on the name? I don't know. Polymer clay crochet hooks. And they blow my mind. Absolutely blow my mind. So this is the one that she did for me. Has a teapot on the top and lots of purples and greens and floral. Then you've got the crochet hook down at the end. And this is a size 3.5 millimeter. And that is what I'm using for my corner to corner. I've really enjoyed this. I believe they are up in her shop now. She's got different ones that she started doing. This is one of the ergonomic ones, I believe is what they're called, where they're bigger. So they're supposed to be better for your hands as far as kind of pain or arthritis or anything like that goes. The way that you can hold them is supposed to be better for your hands. She does also have thinner ones that, you know, they're not as wide, they're just straight down. But definitely check these out. If you were just looking for something fun for yourself or for a friend, I highly recommend these. Absolutely gorgeous. So that is my corner to corner scrappy crochet blanket, and I'm loving working on it so much. There have been quite a few people doing the corner to corner now, and it is super exciting to see those projects pop up because it's just such a fun pattern. I really, really enjoy it. Okay, that is it for scrappy stuff. That's all I've got today. Like I said, there's not really going to be any mail because I've kind of went over the things that I got. The Daisy Girl bag, the bag from Molly, the new needles. Yeah, that's kind of all I've got. So not any mail section this week, but we will go right into some chatter. All right, chatter this week is not really going to be a lot. And if you are going ahead and leaving, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. If you're sticking around for chatter, not really a lot, like I said, because everybody was sick. So Wyatt got sick last Thursday, a week from today, is when the whole thing started. I got a call and had to go pick him up from school. And it just went downhill from there. I think they probably had the flu. Just fever, headache, really tired. That was about as far as it went. You know, both boys had a little bit of a runny nose and a cough. Austin still has a tiny bit of a cough, but I think it was just a little bit of the flu. Thankfully, it seemed to be a pretty mild case. And it is majorly going around their school. The school, starting on Thursday, that evening, sent out an email. They did their little automated call. Oh, the flu is widespread. And I'm thinking, or it might have been Friday evening, but I'm thinking, yeah, I realize that now. But it is definitely widespread. They sent home something last week. They called on Monday about it again. Just their automated thing to let everyone know, you know, the flu is, we're having an outbreak of it. They had to cancel an event that was scheduled for Tuesday night because there's so many kids out. And it's a very small school, so it doesn't seem to, you know, it probably doesn't take many absences to make a dent in attendance. I know Wyatt he went back on Tuesday and he said there were 4 kids out of his class alone. And there are only 2 classes per grade. So you add that up and that's quite a bit of kids that are out. And Austin, some of his friends were texting, you know, he was texting back and forth with them, and they were out sick as well from his class, at least 3 other kids. So the flu is just running rampant around here, I guess. Hopefully the kids stay healthy. We have some exciting things coming up within the next week that I will, you know, I'll be sharing them on Instagram and things, but I will definitely have lots to talk about next podcast. Sorry for the little bit of a teaser, but we're trying to keep some of it on the down low right now, so can't talk about it just yet. But we've got some exciting things coming up. So we cannot have anybody being sick. No one can be sick right now. So yes, that is pretty much what my week has been this past week. And disinfecting and cleaning and passing out medicine and taking temperatures, and that's it. And lots of work on the Warriors blanket. So nothing super exciting. Sorry, my shawl is falling down here, but nothing super exciting going on, honestly. That is pretty much it. Now, I did want to talk about a new show, a new to me show. I had heard of this show before, and I think the first place that I heard of it was the Naughty Nitwits podcast. I believe Michelle watches it. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Leslie, but I believe it's Michelle that had mentioned it. And I kind of thought, oh, I need to check it out. And then I just never did. And we happened to be searching on Amazon one night for a show to watch, and Poldark popped up. And I was like, I've heard about that show. Maybe we should give it a try. So a few days later, we, you know, had a chance in the evening after the kids went to bed to start watching it. And we watched, every single night we watched an episode, and we finished the first season in no time. Halfway through the first season, I was just looking around online and found out that there were books. So then I had to have the books. There are 12 books in the series. Eric ordered me the first 3, and I've started reading it. Now, what it is about, it is, the first book is 1783 to 1787. The first season of the show is book 1 and 2. So that's when it's based. That's the time that it is based in. And the main character, Ross Poldark, is coming back from war in America. And he comes back to Cornwall. But he comes back to find out that his father has died, leaving him pretty much nothing. No real inheritance to speak of. And his love, the woman that he was in love with when he left, she is marrying someone else. I won't say who, because that kind of does throw a little twist in there, but she's marrying another. So he kind of comes back to have to start all over again. And it is just a great, there's romance, I love period dramas. It's a BBC show, so of course it's absolutely amazing because their shows are always so much better than ours, I feel like, but it is the BBC show. So here in the States, you could watch it on PBS. We are watching it on Amazon, like I said. The first season is Amazon Prime. The second season you do have to pay for on Amazon. So we have not started it yet, but I'm going to probably have to give in and start the second season. But I might finish the first and second book first. And maybe the third, because I don't know what the second season, I know the first season is the first and second book. The second season, maybe it's the third and fourth. So maybe I will read books 1 through 4. And then by that time, maybe it'll be on Prime. We'll see. I don't think the third season has aired yet. I think it is set to air, of course, it'll be overseas first before it comes to America. But I think that is set to air in the spring. So sometime soon. But this is the first book. It is Ross Poldark, and it's by Winston Graham. And I've started it. I'm not too far because I just usually read in the evenings before I go to bed. But I am loving this. The show is amazing. The book, of course, like all books, give you a little bit more detail as far as you get more of a background with the characters, I feel like. So this has definitely been a good read. I've got the second and third book. The second one is Demelza. And then the third one is Jeremy Poldark. So I am loving these, and I would highly recommend, if you're a reader, check out the books. If you are not, check out the show. Either way, I don't know, I say checking both out because I'm really enjoying the story. So definitely that has kind of been my guilty pleasure lately, I think, is Poldark. I really cannot get enough of Ross Poldark. I just can't. So that is my suggestion this week for you guys. Check out Ross Poldark. Just do it. He's dark and handsome and mysterious in some ways. I don't know. I would recommend it. So I think that's it for this week. I don't think I had anything else that I wanted to chat with you guys about. I have got a ton of stuff to catch up on around the house today, so I am kind of hoping I kept this shorter so that editing does not take way too long. And I hope I was not too crazy today. I feel a little off with it today. I don't really know why. I think it's just because there are no kids in the house. It feels strange to not need to be checking somebody's temperature right now. Or giving medicine out. I don't feel like I know what to do with myself today. But that is all that we have for today. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate each and every one of you that watch. So be sure to give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you have not already. And thank you again for watching. Bye.